A very good afternoon to all of you. Good morning, rather. Let's begin with today's session on careers in commerce. First of all, I welcome you all to this webinar and I thank you for sparing time and deciding to attend this session on knowing more about what commerce is and what commerce has in it as a career choice for you as a student or I also welcome the parents who might be attending today's session. So welcome to all of you. Let's dive into the big ocean called commerce and understand more about what lies as career opportunities for your child. Just quickly, if someone can tell me if I'm clearly audible and visible, if the slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Great. So let's begin. So I assume that many of you have already chosen the stream as commerce for their education after 10th. Also, from whatever messages I've got, I know that some of you are still thinking, still in two minds about whether to go for commerce or arts or science. And that's why this session probably would be a very good insight for you into what lies in this stream. And then your decision of choosing science, commerce, or arts becomes more informed, I'll say. So in that sense, also it is important for those who have already chosen commerce as a field. I welcome you to the stream and I congratulate you for choosing commerce as a stream. And then for them, it is more important to understand what exactly is the opportunity or set of opportunities that lie for these students. Let me start. So today's agenda for this session is going to be in this manner. So first we would discuss about what commerce exactly is, because we've heard the word so many times, but when it comes to, if I ask you what is the meaning or dictionary definition of it, then probably there is a little confusion of what exactly commerce is. Then we would discuss about why commerce as a stream of education and why specifically a stream of education for you. What are the various career choices in commerce that you can look at as you go ahead after 12th in your graduation and your post graduation? Then developing competence. So this is again an area which I like to talk a lot about because fortunately, unfortunately, it is the case today from my uh, educational experience in this field for about 18 plus years. I can tell you that sometimes 11th and 12th are taken very lightly and casually by students, and they don't really they don't really give a lot of importance to studies in those 2 years, because till 10th they have really worked very hard, especially the year last year standard 10 is somewhere the students have really taken a lot of efforts, and then there's a thought that let 11 be a year of rest, as they call. I don't know where this term comes from, but very commonly I hear it from students that, ma'am, 11th is a year of rest. But please don't do that, and I'll tell you why. And then in those 2 years, 11th and 12th, what is it that you all can do so that you develop yourself uh, as an able commerce professional, or you develop your skills, you sharpen your skills in these 2 years. And then, of course, if there are any queries, I'll be happy to handle. Yes. So first, before I actually open the slide, I want to ask all of you if you can just switch on your camera, switch on your audio and tell me what, according to you, is commerce. I would be happy to have an interactive session rather than just me talking in the session. So what, according to you, is commerce? So when you think of commerce as a stream, what is it that lies in it? Yes. Would you define commerce? Anyone? No? Okay. So commerce primarily defined as trading activity where goods and services are exchanged for a monetary consideration. That is primarily commerce. But then, is it only this? Answer is definitely no. First, it involves not just products but services also. And second important thing is, it is not just sale and purchase of goods and services. It is much beyond that. It has numerous angles and nuances to it, and so many exciting fields where you all as commerce students can work after completing your 12th standard. So, so if I ask you various decisions or situations in your life where you have used commerce, then probably understanding the stream becomes more easy. The problem with the current educational system is that up to 12th standard, except for ICSE board, where there are two subjects which give you a little bit of information about commerce, apart from it, no other board is offering a lot of information about commerce as a stream, and that's where exactly the problem lies. So suppose after 10th, a student has to get into science, then it is pretty easy because he has done science from standard one. And so he knows exactly what lies in the stream when he picks up science as 11th stream. But for those who have to choose commerce and even arts for that matter, unfortunately, not a lot of information happens to come across the way of students in up to 12th, up to 10th standard. And that's why I would start by giving you some examples of real life incidences or situations where you will be able to connect better with commerce. So there's a list which I have written here. Let's take one by one quickly. So buying a car. So in every household, there is some decision, some time which is taken for buying a two-wheeler, buying a car, buying a second car, or buying sometimes for business purposes. If the family has business, you might end up buying a tempo or a small truck, a tractor, whatever. So all these decisions, buying a land, buying a building, buying a computer, all these assets that you create in your family is nothing but commerce. So deciding how much to spare on a particular asset, what will be the location of the asset, what should you be using it for, all these decisions are a part of commerce as a stream. Second is a very common example when you decide the budget of gifting a friend. So let's say you decide that every one of us in the group will contribute 500 and we together will give a nice gift to our friend who is turning 16 this year. Then you all know that, let's say there are 10 of you contributing. So you know that the sum is 5,000. But obviously that time you exactly have an idea that the gift will not be exactly 5,000. It can be little more or little lesser than 5,000 because it is very difficult to find an exactly 5,000 worth of gift. So this little bit of buffer that you allow yourself, that the gift can be little more or little lesser than the actual collected money, is called as budgeting. And this budgeting is also a major part of commerce. Next is advertisements that you see every now and then on social media, on television, everywhere you see a lot of advertisements of various services, various products, and all of it is nothing but commerce. Selecting a job out of various opportunities, you might have seen your elder brother, sister, or someone in the family, even parents switch their jobs, and you would see how they choose a particular job, how they make a decision of accepting a particular offer and rejecting another offer that they might have is again commerce. Investing the saved money. There's a slight difference between savings and investment. Savings is just gathering money in your bag, let's say. But that money will not grow on itself. So if you want the money to grow, to help you create wealth, you need to invest it in a right manner. So that investment is also commerce. Developing supply chain and distribution channels. So these terms are a little difficult to you, but you might have heard them already. So supply chain and distribution channels is the way a particular product will come to you, come to the consumer from the factory. So that entire path of how it would travel, how it would be packaged, bundled, and given to you is all a part of your commerce as a stream. So I think I've tried to give different examples from different streams of commerce. So if you now again go through these and try to sum up, you would see that commerce is made of various fields, which I will discuss a little later. But before that, uh, the next point, after having understood what commerce is why commerce as a career option is great for you. So this is probably the most important, I would say, discussion for you at this point, that when I ask you that you are going to, why are you going to choose commerce, you must have some answers in front of you as to why you choose. Again, my experience says that unfortunately, sometimes students choose commerce by rejection method. Means what? So a student does not want to pick up science, so he ends up picking a commerce, ends up picking commerce as a stream, or ends up picking humanities, arts as the stream of education. Because primarily in India today, there are three major streams available to us. It's science, commerce, or arts. So don't go for choosing commerce as an by elimination method, that I don't want science, I don't want arts, and thus commerce. That is not a correct way of choosing commerce. I can tell you a little bit from my experience, but that slide comes later when I'll talk about my story of how I landed into commerce. And probably that is exactly the reason why I started this webinar 4 years back. So this is our fourth year at Srishti School of Learning, where we are doing these webinars for giving information about various fields in commerce. So commerce is at the heart of all business transactions. It is extremely rewarding career option. By rewarding, I mean both. It gives you good money and also good work satisfaction, because the kind of profiles that are available in commerce are so beautiful that you can use your skills that you have acquired till 10th standard, and now the two important golden years, 11th and 12th, where you will be honing your skills more, you will be sharpening your skills more. So all that will help you in choosing a wonderful, rewarding career. There is a lot of growth in commerce as a stream. You will see earlier, say about 30, 40 years back, commerce was predominantly restricted to production and its distribution. So create a product and sell it in the market was predominantly what commerce was. But gone are the days. Now services are taking over almost the production segment of commerce. So today you will see a lot of services being provided in different areas, and that's where commerce is more attractive now than before. Creating a product, producing a product, innovating into a new product or a service is what science people will do. But once the product is ready, getting it into the market, selling it to customers, and making sure that you have repeat orders from the same customers, and also grabbing new customers, is all a task of commerce personnel. So that's why it has a lot of options of growth. Lastly, but very important, commerce is a field which involves a bit of logic, a bit of intelligence, and a lot of business acumen. I said a bit of logic, a bit of intelligence, and a lot of business acumen. So how do you develop all this? So it actually, I would say, practically starts from standard 3 or 4, where you started playing Monopoly. I'm sure every one of you has played Monopoly as a child, and even today, sometimes even I like to play it with my son, because it gives a different kind of business acumen, a business thought to the entire thought process that we as human beings have. So I think it starts from there and extends when you pick up commerce. Okay, the next slide. Now, the most important, I told you why commerce is attractive as a career choice. Now, the next question, if you see the heading, why commerce as a career option for you? So now the focus is on you as a student of standard 10 who is just passing out and diving into a new, totally new world. Today, when you logged into the Zoom link, you would have seen that the password is New Horizon. So now it is onset of a new horizon in front of you, and that is what you should take it as. So why is it a great career option for you? So in this, there are 2, 3 things that you must think very carefully before making a final choice of choosing a stream. First, What are your goals and your vision in your life? And then before that, the question is, do you have goals and vision set for yourself? Sometimes it happens that by 10th, we go in the flow, like the same school, same friends, same friend circle in general around us. And so it goes very smoothly till standard 10. So maybe sometimes students don't have any particular vision in front of them or any particular goal in front of them about their life. And then these 1.5 months or 2 months that you have in your hand before you actually start filling in the admission forms, you must think a lot about these aspects as to what do you really want to achieve in your life. Remember, the goal can be different for different individual. Like some people might want a lot of money, some people might want a lot of fame, some other professionals might want a lot of work satisfaction from what they do, some others might want to impact society in a different way. Some people might just want to help society in whatever form, whether as service or charity, giving money and so on. So it's first thing that you should do, and I believe you should start writing these points one by one every day so that you get a good clarity about your thought process. I hope and I assume that you are writing down these points, which I tell you because there are a lot of other points that will be coming up after this slide also. So I would request you to keep on jotting down these points because these are some things that you need to think about. If you ask me what are the career options in commerce, then if you just Google also, you'll get a lot of information. But how this webinar is going to help you is because my experience in the educational field and whatever knowledge I've gathered over these years by talking to academicians, by talking to students, and that knowledge that I'm going to transfer is probably going to make a lot of difference. So as I said, identify your goal of coming into commerce. And the third point that I'll talk before my journey is what attracts you here in this stream at this point in time. So today, if you're thinking that I want to choose commerce as my stream of education, then what is it that attracts you today to this stream? You might say that I want to earn a lot of money, but that you can do by doing science also, commerce also, and arts also. So if earning money is your goal, then why commerce is what you have to identify. So what attracts you here today in this point in time and in choosing commerce as your stream? I'll give you a bit of information about my journey, and not because my journey is something incredible. No, it's absolutely a normal journey, but it has something which you must all think about. So I completed my 10th standard and got a really good marks in maths and science. So for my parents, the natural choice was science, and very rightly so. So I never had any privilege or opportunity till then to think about commerce as a field. So even I was quite sure that good marks, good grades, and now I should get into science. My father is an engineer, so for me it was a very natural choice. Somehow there happened a friend of like a family friend happened to visit our place sometime in the evening someday, and he was discussing with me about what are the choices in front of me as career choice, and what will I do in science and this and that. And then he started giving me a glimpse into commerce as to what all different options you have in commerce. And then I thought, okay, I think it's not a bad idea to explore this field. And maybe that time someone had told me that science involves a lot of hard work, and maybe I didn't wanted to do that. So I landed into commerce, but not out of a lot of thought, but out of uh, I would say, as started, I told you in the beginning of the session that I rejected science and got into commerce because I thought science involves too many diagrams, and medical field is not for me, and engineering is very hard, then what will I do, etc. So I chose commerce, but that is exactly my point. Don't do that, what I did, because I landed up and thankfully everything turned well, but it may not happen always. So I chose commerce till 12th, it was all fine. Again in 12th, I got reasonably good marks. And then again, because all my friends were getting into CA, I also got into CA course without any thought about what are the other options that I can get into. So today, when I look back, I feel that I did CA and I'm happy about it, but I could have been happier if I would have probably done MBA or CS, or maybe CA and MBA probably would have been a great choice. But I did not have that privilege of getting an insight into various options. Today, you have it thanks to Google and thanks to a lot of information around you. So think of all that before you get into 11th. So I made a choice of CA. I completed CA, started working, and then PhD, I would say, was the only choice which I made because I wanted to be in educational field, and in being in commerce and finance stream, it was very natural for me to do a PhD in the same field. But my point here is, unfortunately, I did not give a lot of thought. By God's grace, everything fell in right place at right time, but it may or may not happen always. And that's why taking an informed decision after understanding all the options is the right thing. And that's exactly why I started these webinars in guiding students about commerce. Yes. The next, again, little more insight into what should you do before choosing commerce. So first, brainstorm a lot with your friends and family. Here, my dear friends, I want to give you a tip of doing your personal SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we have done it in till 10 standard about certain aspects of our subjects. Like in some chapter, you might have done SWOT analysis. Today, I'm asking you to do a SWOT analysis of your own. What does that mean? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Opportunities in front of you and threat for you in person, as a human being, as a student. If this is not an easy process, you'll have to talk. That's why I said brainstorming. You'll have to do a lot of brainstorming with your friends, with your family members. Ask your parents, ask your siblings, ask your cousins and your close friends about what do you think are my strengths, my weaknesses. And then after carefully drafting them, you start working. I'll give you an example of what I mean here. Suppose there is a student, there's a person who is thinking of taking marketing as his specialization in graduation, post graduation, and then he wants to work in marketing. And if he decides that I'll be a marketing personnel, that is a person who goes out in the market and tries to market the product for his company, so it involves a lot of talking and persuading customers to explaining to them the features of the product, etc. Now imagine the student which I'm talking about. If he's an introvert, doesn't like to talk much, doesn't like to mix a lot with a lot of people, then how would he be able to take up marketing as his mainstream? Definitely he can get into marketing and do what is called as marketing analytics. So I'll talk about it when I go to career choices. But there are different, but point here is, if you understand what are your strengths and your weaknesses, you will be able to guide yourself into the correct subsection or substream, super specialization as we call it, into commerce. So only marketing is good as a goal up to say graduation, but at graduation you'll have to decide what inside marketing, because in the marketing field as such also there are various subtle small parts or small niche profiles that you can pick up. So picking them according to your inner strength, picking them according to your skills that you have innate to you as a person will help you a lot. Next is do a lot of research on social media and other literature that you see around, various magazines, newspapers, various articles, webinars like what we are doing today are going to help you a lot. Third is try and do some internships, volunteering, or event management activities in these 2 years of 11th and 12th. As I said, these two are golden years where you can spend a lot of time deciding what you want to do, because you have not made any final choice till you are a 12th pass out. So these 2 years, explore the world of commerce as much as you can. For that, internships, like working in some office. So if you have your family business or some relatives in family, you can request them if you can go and sit in their office. Just observing business also gives you a lot of insight. Next is discussions and experience gathering. Gather a lot of experience as much as you can through discussions and through actual work on the floor as much as you can get. Last point, which I really like to talk about before I get on to the main slide of this webinar, which is career options, is Ikigai. I'm sure every one of you have heard this word. Many of you would have already read the book called Ikigai. Ikigai means do what you really like. Do you remember Farhan Qureshi in Three Idiots? The one who wanted to, who got into engineering college but never liked the subjects in engineering. And finally, with the help of his friend, he gets into photography, which really was his passion. Ikigai is exactly telling you to do what your heart tells you to do. Don't choose commerce just because your friends are choosing, just because your parents are asking you to do so, or just because you don't have any other choice. Make an informed decision of choosing commerce. This diagram that you see in front of you is going to guide you in this manner or in this sense specifically. Sorry. Yeah. Discovering the purpose in your life. So if you see this diagram, you will see that passion is a mixture of what you love and what you are good at. Let's say mission is a mixture of what you love and what the world needs. And lastly here, I don't know if you can see, just a second. Can you see the last part of the diagram? What you are paid for, right? Below the circle, I mean the end of this diagram, at the bottom, you'll see what you're paid for. So there are 4 factors when you choose your career. One, what do you really love? What is it that you really want to do in life? Second, what is it that you're good at? Only loving something is not enough. Let's say I love singing, but if my voice is really bad, or if I cannot sing at all in sur and tal, then it is of no use that I like music. Only the fact that I like music is then not sufficient. I can do singing for my own self, but if you're choosing a career, if you're choosing a profession, it cannot be something that you love, but you are not good at, right? So what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. According to me, these are the 4 important pillars that you should think about or think on the lines of before choosing a final choice of your career. So in commerce also, you must see what you love, what you can be paid for, what you're good at, and what the world needs. If you do something that you get paid for, but the world doesn't need it really, then it is not a choice. If you want to do something that the world needs, but you don't love it, then it won't give you happiness. So Ikigai is discovering the purpose in life where you will be the happiest person by combining your skills, combining your ability and your intelligence into doing something that is real, that you can call as your real career choice. Read the book if you have not read. It is a wonderful book and can guide you a lot. Now comes the heart of this session, today's session. These are 2 slides which I'm going to discuss with you. The first slide is about education in commerce. So what are the different degrees that are possible in commerce? And then second slide, which I'm going to take you to after this, is careers in commerce. So there is a slight difference. Please understand it carefully. Education may or may not give you a direct career path. So suppose I complete BCom. Then that is my degree that I have got. I have studied for it and I have mastered it. But that is not a work profile. BCom cannot be a work profile in itself. So Having done graduation in commerce, what are the various options that you can choose in your career as a career path is what will come in the next slide. So I'll talk about it when I reach there. But right now you can just, if you want, you can note down or just take a screenshot and remember. Let's take a ride through these degrees. So obviously I've listed down all the degrees in graduation as well as post-graduation. So first and most common choice in education in commerce is BCom, a graduation in commerce, and followed by MCom, because only BCom will not have any relevance. So minimum degree that you should take in this field is MCom, I would say, minimum. So it's like the basic degree in commerce. Okay. So even if it is MCom, it is today, in today's world, it is not sufficient, my dear friends. Please remember, only doing BCom or MCom is not going to help. You will have to couple it with something more rewarding in your post-graduation. Nowadays, there are various colleges in Pune and around in other cities also, which give you a specialization in BCom with a certain focus. So a specialization can be accounting, costing, marketing, applied economics, data sciences, computer applications. Business analytics is something which is not listed here, but again, an area. You can do a BCom with HR focus, BCom with IT focus. There are so many options available today with different colleges. Today, you would see that various colleges have converted themselves into deemed universities. So the syllabi is going to be different for different universities. No two universities will have same syllabus. Uh, they would be similar, the subjects would be similar, but again, inside the particular subject, there would be slight change. So you will have to make a very careful choice after 12th when you get into a college as to what exactly you want from BCom accordingly, because not all these options in specialization will be given in one university. So you will have to choose your college, your university, depending on what specialization, what focus you want to do. Next is BBA, which is very commonly and logically followed by MBA. BBA is bachelor's degree in business administration. After that, you do MBA, which is master's in business administration. Again, here there are many options. BBA as well as MBA. You can see here on the right hand side, 10th point is MBA. So graduation, post-graduation can be done in marketing, hospitality management, hospital management. Hospitality is service industry like hotels and restaurants, whereas hospital is actually the medical field. So hospital management, sports management. These days, many students pursue MBA in sports management and start their own I would say diet food cafe, or some of them start their own gyms, and some of them just consult on how to exercise and how to do your diet and stuff like that. Then BBA and MBA can be done in marketing, HR, information technology, computer applications, can be done in CSR. So there are some colleges in Pune for sure I know who offer an MBA in CSR, corporate social responsibility. Obviously, there'll be other subjects of other streams also, but the specialization, the focus is on CSR in that case, in that particular specialization. Then you can do BCA, which is Bachelor's in Computer Applications or Commercial Applications. There are both possibilities in this degree, both options available. Then BFT, FT is Foreign Trade, so Bachelor's in Foreign Trade. So all these are graduation courses, which generally students pick up after 12th. This is again just the foundation. 11th and 12th is the I would say bottom line on which the entire structure is going to be built. BBA gives you a little height in your career. And BBA means any bachelor's degree, BCom, BBA, BCA, BFT, gives you a little height in your career. And the top of it, like if you want to reach the top of your career, you have to get into some kind of post-graduation. There are various post-graduation as well as certificate courses that are available to us. CA, let me tell you, is a certificate course. CS, CMA are all called a certificate course, but the value of that certificate is really high in market. All these courses, CA, CS, CMA, are available in the market today along with graduation. Available in the market as in the education stream, if you choose, all of this is available along with graduation. So you can on one side complete your BBA, BCA, BFT, BCom, and after 12th you can start getting into these certificate courses, which I'm calling, but because that's how they are termed as CA, that is Chartered Accountancy, CS, that is Company Secretary, CMA, that is Certified Management Accountant, Certified Management Accountant. So those parents who are listening to this webinar today would know that this CMA earlier used to called as ICWA. So many of you know it by that name. If your friends or family, someone has done that already, you would know it as ICMA, ICWA. But today the institute has been renamed and it is called as CMA, that is Management Accountant, Chartered Management Accountant. So CMA is that. So these are the next set of courses after graduation, which are most popular and most commonly picked up by students. CA, CS, CMA are all three-staged courses, meaning you have a foundation exam, that is the first exam, then you have an intermediate exam, which is the second exam, and then you have final. The names, the nomenclatures would be slightly different. After this session, I will send you detailed information about those courses with the help of some diagrams. So I'll post that on the WhatsApp group that has been created. And that's exactly the reason why the group was created, so that I could keep on giving you information about various aspects of commerce and admissions, etc. on that group. So I'll send those detailed diagrams, the charts of what exactly CA, CS, CMA is about. May I request you to be, someone has by mistake, I think, drawn something on the screen. So please avoid that. So three-stage courses, foundation, intermediate, and final. So generally, the way it happens is by the time you give your intermediate exam, you would have completed your graduation. So you can also do post-graduation and complete your CACS, CMA by then. So generally, the timeline, if I have to tell you, by the time you complete your MCom, you would be giving the last exam of CACS, CMA, if you don't if you clear all the exams in between in first go. Please remember, the passing percentage for all these professional courses, CA, CS, CMA, is quite low. It has never exceeded 10%. So every 100 students who appear for exam, at the most, I'm saying 10 students clear. This is at the most. The average rate of passing has been somewhere between 5 and 7% today. And that's why I always say in commerce, there is no entry bar. Like in engineering or in various other fields in science, you will have entry bar. So once you clear that entry exam, the rest becomes relatively smoother. In commerce, it is exactly other way around. There is no entry bar. You can just fill in the form and appear for the exam. The clearing the particular exam, passing through that exam is very difficult. And that's why I have been reiterating again and again in this webinar also, and I generally do that 11th and 12th are the foundation years. Please do not ignore studies in these 2 years, because based on what you do in 11th and 12th, your future, your career will be decided. Okay, so coming back to the next courses, the next is LLB course. LLB is, everyone is aware, the law course. Nowadays, there is also an option of doing law along with your graduation. So there's an exam called CLAT, through the help of which you can do, after 12th, you can get into a college which gives you a BCom degree or a BBA degree, depending on what college you get into. And along with that, they will start giving you top subjects of law also. So so it's an integrated course into law. Similarly, today, an integrated course in MBA is also available. I have listed it as a 13th course here. So MBA integrated IIMs are offering it. So after, it is called as IPM course. So after 12th, only students get into that entire course where they do it as graduation and they continue doing it as post-graduation. It's relatively a new course at IIM, and the first batch is hardly barely in their last year getting out of that course. But the course has been really doing good. Students are really happy with that course, and that's why that's another option you can choose. Okay. These are the avenues in commerce abroad. So students, some of you would want to go abroad and study. So these are the various options in front of you. I would suggest complete your graduation in India and then go abroad. That will really be more valuable, will add a lot of value cost wise also, and education wise also. So there is very popularly known as London School of Economics, where students go for masters in economics. So if you want to be a policy maker or a decision maker and help government, uh, probably London School of Economics is the place for you. Next is Harvard Business School, which is again a very, very coveted school, just like Wharton Business School. There are so many, but I'm just naming a few. So all these places would give you MBA courses or MS in management in different areas. You can do MS in economics, business strategy, business analytics, data sciences in general also. Uh, One more good option is ACCA, or another option which is similar to ACCA is CPA. So depending on which country you are doing the course for, so there could be, CPA is generally for US related jobs. ACCA is a globally recognized degree. Association of Chartered Certified Accountants is ACCA. So again, these courses are very similar to CA. In my personal opinion, they're slightly, but less difficult than main stream CA also. But that's why anyone who completes a CA here and ever shifts to other country can finish their CPA or ACCA very easily. So these are courses abroad that you can pick up. Next is career options. Again, I would request you to take a screenshot because it's a big list, and I may or may not be able to discuss everything in detail. I'll come to it towards the end as to how, what are the other ways in which I can help you. But right now, just take a screenshot. I'll just take you through these. So now what are these career options? As I told you in the earlier slide, that earlier slide showed us what are the different education streams that you can pick up in commerce. But having finish that education, what are the career options or the work profiles that you can get in commerce is what is listed here. So business analysis is one very, very rewarding and extremely popular today career option. So a CA, an MBA, a BCom with data sciences, or a BCom with business analytics in particular can get into business analysis field. I mean, that work profile. There are various opportunities in various companies, banks, and investment companies, insurance companies for business analysis. Because business analysis today is needed in every stream, whether it is marketing analytics or HR analytics, or just analysis into, so you will also know for sure various modules available today like SAP, or the buzzword today is cloud technology. All this is going to give you a lot of career trajectory or career, you'll gain a lot of speed in your careers through these options. Next is tax consultants and auditors. So very natural choices. When you complete your CA, you can get into tax consultancy and be a statutory auditor. But remember, it is not essential to necessarily be a chartered accountant to be a tax consultant. So you can be an MBA, you can be a CMA. I referred to it, CMA, management accountant, and give consultation on tax. So for that, you need not be a chartered accountant. But if you want to sign a balance sheet, you have to be a chartered accountant. Next is legal advisor. Again, company secretaries as well as law graduates are good fits for legal advisors. Again, every company almost today needs a legal advisory. So people might have companies might have an in-house committee, in-house team of legal advisors, or smaller companies, mid-sized companies generally have a retainership linking with some legal advisor. Management consultancy is another big area. How to run an organization, basically, and different facets of it. So how to run an organization with reference to advertising, with reference to HR, with reference to marketing, and so on and so forth. You can be an expert in economics and advisory areas like policy making, budgeting. And again, as I told you, BCom with applied economics, or MCom with applied economics, or after commerce, you can get into what is called, as in Pune, we have Gokhale Institute of Economics. So in such institutes, if you get into and decide to become an expert advisor in economics field, then that is a very good option. Next is actuarial valuator. So there is an exam called actuary exam that you have to clear after your graduation, and then you can get into this course. This is again, there are today a lot of institutes or organizations, I would say, who actually offer this service of actuary valuation. And today in various fields, like right from business disputes to family disputes to buying a particular land, a big decision of buying 1,000 acres of land or so, all businesses, all individuals also need this kind of valuation. Next is company secretary, again, a rewarding career. I would suggest, if you want to go into company secretary field, you have to couple it with law. Then it gives more weightage, more choice of career. Company secretary is one who helps you run the organization in a lawful manner. So a lot of compliances as far as a company is concerned are to be performed every year by every business, and company secretary helps in that. Next is cost and management consultant or management accountant. Again, a CMA is a best fit for this, but there are there are chartered accountants or company secretaries also working in this field. Insurance officers, investment bankers, and share markets, which is the last point, but is linked to this. So I discussed it first. So insurance, investment, banking, and share markets, again, a similar zone, I would say, where CA, CS, CMA, MBAs are all most welcome to work in this field. SAP consultant, so many students today after post-graduation or graduation do a special course in SAP, SAP module, you might have heard, how to implement a SAP module in a company. So, and they become what is called as a SAP consultant, again, a rewarding career. Next is designers. There are lot of students every year who pass out of commerce and 12th and get into designing field. Designing doesn't only mean fashion designing. It means designing a stall at an industrial exhibition, designing a prototype of a product that you want to bring into the market, designing, say, a car that you want to get into the market, and so on and so forth. So designers are needed in every field. Event managers, again, anyone who has done a commerce degree is good fit for event management. If you have the required skills, if you can talk out to people, if you have good connect with people, then event management is absolutely a wonderful choice. Today, the number of events, today every marriage is also like an event, and that's why a lot of opportunity in this area. Next is teachers, researchers. You can get into that as a field. Data sciences, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is doing your own business, starting your own venture. After Make India initiative, a lot of professionals in commerce are deciding to start their own business. Commerce graduates, postgraduates are more suited, I would say, for entrepreneurship, because they know the business organizations, the culture of business organizations, that I would say the nature of business organizations really well. And that's why they can run the business more effectively than anyone else. Digital marketing and e-commerce, I don't need to talk about this. You all know with the with what you can say, companies like Amazon and Flipkart rising every day. Digital marketing and e-commerce is a buzzword today. Last but not the least, which I discussed, is share markets, broking. Again, here I want to bust a myth. Very often when I ask students, what do you know about commerce? They say, no, commerce is about share market or share trading. So please remove that myth from your mind, or remove that notion from your mind. share broking or share markets is just one area of commerce, but commerce is way beyond it. But today, everyone you see around is doing share trading, and from whatever a little age they can. I'm not personally in or against share market, so I'm quite neutral about this field. But if you want to get into share markets, you have to be very diligent, very sincere, very meticulous, and you have to understand and judge risks correctly. You cannot take a lot of risk, and at the same time, you cannot totally undermine risks also in share markets. So if you have those skills, share market is a worthwhile option. Okay. Now I'll come to the last two slides of the presentation, which are extremely important for every student who decides to get into commerce. Why commerce? Actually, for every student, I would say, but for commerce more particularly. As I told you, 11th and 12th is seen in commerce as a year where you don't need to study a lot. 2-3 घंटे पढ़ाई करके भी हो जाएगा. But I would say no, that is not how it works. If you give your best, if you give good time and good focus to 11th and 12th, then your graduation, post-graduation becomes more worthwhile. Parkinson's law of time management says that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. The more time we give to a particular task, the longer it takes to complete it. So you would see this very commonly in your day-to-day life also. Say, let's say it's a Sunday morning and you decide to wake up late, no alarm, and you get up at say 11 o'clock in the morning. From that, then you slowly start going through the day passes by, and suddenly it's late evening that you realize that, oh, Sunday is gone. Actually, on that lazy Sunday, you decided not to do anything. You did not do anything worthwhile. Still, the day passed by. My dear students, life also passes by in the same way. As they say, life just happens. If you do something worthwhile while it is passing by, you will be able to create a mark of your own. Otherwise, life will pass anyway. Every day will be a new sunrise and a new sunset. If you want to work in between those two events and want to create your mark, then these 2 years are the most important. You won't be having a lot of burden of studies in 11th and 12th, but then it means you have time to do other things that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to take out time for. So what are those skills or tools? I call it a toolbox actually. What are those skills that you can sharpen or that you can acquire in these 2 years is what I'm going to tell you. Because there's a lot of time in 11th and 12th, and it will just pass. So as the Parkinson's law says, work expands to fill time available. So एक छोटा सा assignment करने के लिए you can spend the entire day also, or you can finish it in 1 hour also. I'm sure you all have had that experience where a particular school assignment you would have been able to complete in 1 hour, half an hour also. And sometimes the teacher had given you 1 month to complete the assignment, but still you did not complete it on time. Because when you know that there's a lot of time to complete the work, you tend to sort of push it for a later date, and then also you tend to be very slow in completing that task. And that's why 11th and 12th should be taken very seriously. You have time, but don't use it just to complete your college work. So then what is it that you can do in these 2 years? Again, a screenshot is highly recommended. How do you develop your edge over competitors by using the time available in standard 11th and 12th? My dear students, when you get out of your graduation, when you pass out of your graduation batch or as a postgraduate, and let's say a company has come to your campus for placements, for taking students, picking students for the company. There are 10 positions that a company has brought to the campus. And you have a MBA, let's say you have completed MBA, and the MBA batch is of 80 students. Now, on first day of placements, when this company comes with 10 positions, they're going to pick up the best 10 out of the 80 students that are completing MBA. Let's assume that all these students have done MBA in finance. So they all are same. They all have done the same degree, but then still there'll be only 10 places and only 10 best suited candidates will be picked up for those positions, right? Now, if everyone is an MBA finance, if I'm an employer, how should I choose a particular candidate? How should I decide that person A is not to be picked up for my job, but person B is more capable? How do I decide that? Of course, every employer will have his own criteria of what he wants in a candidate. But remember, when you all have the same skills, everyone is an MBA pass out, then that edge over your competitors who are your other batchmates will be earned or achieved by doing by what I can say acquiring these skills that I have listed here. If you have any of these skills with you or most of these skills with you, you will be definitely seen as a more I would say empowered resource or more worthwhile resource, and companies will easily pick you for their job profile. Remember, it's not only intelligence that will give you a good job in industry, or even if you start something on your own as an entrepreneur, then also only intelligence is not going to help. You have to have these skills with you. Let's see them one by one. Communication skills. Here, I mean verbal communication as well as written communication. Even after completing post-graduation, many students cannot write a formal email properly by giving the proper salutations and by proper closure and opening to the email. So learn these skills. There are so many courses available today on various platforms that you can pick up any of them and just complete it. Udemy is a very famous nowadays platform where various courses of uh, extremely good professors are available. So you complete that particular course, and when you want to appear for the exam, you fill in the form. So there is no charge for studying the particular course, and when you want to get a certification, you will have to pay for the fees. MOOCs, MOOCs, MOOCs is another such, if you just Google it, you will get it, MOOCs. MOOCs is another such platform where various such courses are available, just like Udemy, Udemy. So communication skills, do a course, do a foreign language, German, French, Japanese, any foreign language is going to always help you. Unfortunately, we only focus on foreign language, that is other countries' language. But in our country also, there is so much variety of languages. So learning, say, being a Maharashtrian, if I learn Tamil or Telugu, it's going to definitely help me connect better with people when it comes to that. Next is negotiation skills. You must have seen your mother negotiating with some vendors at some times while buying something. Negotiation is an art. It's not just a technique. It's an art of putting your point in front of the seller in such a way that the seller is ready to lower the price or give you some This is a common parlance example that I gave you, but negotiations in businesses happen much at larger scale. And so having correct skills is important. Using web space effectively. What does this mean? So very often you would have seen that if you're searching something on Google and your friend is searching something on Google, you might get different outcome. Am I clearly audible? My internet is a bit problematic. Am I audible clearly? Can someone tell me?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, thanks. So using web space effectively. So I was saying that a particular student, if he's searching on Google something, might get a different list of searches than what you would do, because how do you search on the web is also important. Do you know that when you need, say I need to search restaurants in Karve Nagar, then restaurants in Karve Nagar will give me a different set of searches. But if I do restaurants plus Karve Nagar, then I'm ensuring that the searches have both these words inside the written matter. So when you do a plus sign and do a search, it is more effective. So there are so many such, I just give you one, so many such tricks of using your web space effectively in general. It also means using your Instagram very effectively, and effectively doesn't mean only surfing. It means, can you really do a professional reel, a commercial advertisement? So try doing all that. And that's why I said internships are very important. Next is command over Microsoft Office. That is command over Word, Excel, and PowerPoint presentations. Very, very strong command is needed in whatever field you go. So 11th and 12th is the golden opportunity to master these skills. Again, a lot of courses available. Banking operations. Parents who are listening to this podcast, please allow your student kids to do banking operations now. Let them go and deposit a check. Let them go and withdraw some money. If you can offer them a separate account of theirs, that will be really good. Ask them to go to post office and do some tasks there, open a recurring deposit account. It can be just 100 rupees per month, but they must get used to these operations. Nowadays, a lot of operations happen online, on the software, on mobile. But still, when you go to the particular place, a post office or a bank, and do a transaction yourself by writing by your hand, it fits in your mind like never before. And then if you complete the remaining task on your mobiles or your or online, then still it's fine. But understanding the operation in a banking field or post office, for that you must go and visit that place. Introduction to share market, I will tell you in the next slides, where I tell you what good reads are. In that, I'll tell you there are some simulation softwares today which are available in market free of cost, where you can do share trading, but without actually investing any money. Parents, I would suggest, don't give money in the hands of students today. Let them do the virtual software first. Let them learn the art of share market trading first, and then give them money if you want to. Next is post office savings, I spoke about. Next is computer language. Learn a computer language. Today, R programming, Python, SAS are extremely, I would say, good choices in market about learning a computer language. Sorry, just a minute. Business etiquettes, again, something that is very important, right from table manners to how to greet a person. Every country will have its own culture and different way of communication. Body language, the way body language speaks is different for different countries, for different people, for different regions of the same country also. So business etiquettes involves the communication for sure. It involves your body language. It involves the way you actually welcome a particular guest in your business, etc. Again, various courses available on various platforms. Sharpening analytical skills. For this, you can actually start something small as solving a Sudoku that comes in the newspapers every day, and then keep on increasing your analytical ability through your Excel. So when you start using Excel very effectively, you automatically end up churning a lot of data, and then analytics comes very naturally after that. And last is, parents, please allow students to, your kids to manage the household expenses for a month or two. Let them get a hang of what cost is incurred in running the family expenses on a particular monthly basis. Let them handle money, let them handle how much to save, how much to spend, and then they automatically start understanding the value of money more, is my experience. So I think you all should try that. Again, a screenshot is recommended. A few good books and movies or web series that you can surf through, that you can read, watch, as the case may be, to get a good glimpse of commerce as a field. So one is Atomic Habits, a wonderful book of how tiny changes can make a remarkable result. Then How Finance Works, again an HBR guide, Harvard Business Review guide, again very beautiful. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, another book. It happened in India. It's a story of Pantaloons Big Bazaar by Kishore Biyani. Unfortunately, Big Bazaar was not a success. Today, you know that it has been acquired by Reliance. But the way the business was brought to existence, and the way Kishore Biani introduced the idea of having a grocery mall for the first time in India is amazing. So this book is very relevant in that sense. And last is Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy. Eat that frog. Then some movies, one is Guru, 2007 movie, Hindi movie. Then Scam, 1992, Harshad Mehta story. Everyone, I'm sure, would have seen this. Then Enron, the smartest guy in the room, are some movies or again web series which are very important in understanding commerce as a stream. The simulation app I spoke about stock market simulation, ICICI Direct, Zerodha, Investopedia have their own apps which you can refer to. They are very good, and students can learn share market operations through that. There are some good podcasts or lectures by Dr. Anil Lamba, and very recently, uh, uh, I would say recently recently popular influencer, CA Rachana Ranade is she speaks a lot on stock exchange and investments in general. So her session podcasts are also very, very good. So refer to them. And last, I call this as a winner's toolbox or winner's skill set. If you want to succeed in commerce as a professional, if you want to be an excellent contributor to business, to the organization where you work, if you want to have an edge over your competitors, these are the skills that you imbibe or should have in you. One, strong business knowledge base, which means studying has no alternative. You will have to study all subjects very thoroughly in 11th and 12th, because that is going to give you an idea that, okay, marketing is something I don't like, finance is something I don't like, but yes, HR is something I really enjoy doing. So I say 11th and 12th is like checking the menu in a buffet. You see what are the starters, what is the welcome drink, what are the main course items, how many desserts there in the buffet. All this is seen in 11th and 12th. The graduation is actually eating the starters and the main course. And post graduation is choosing that particular dessert out of the list of desserts that you like. So it is actually something called a super specialization that you do in your post graduation. So in this way, what are the so knowledge base, there's no alternative. Analytical ability to interpret and to conclude in any situation. Mathematical inclination for most of the courses is needed. Only exceptions are law and CS, where mathematical inclination is not as much needed, but mathematics give you a good logic, gives you a good logic and I would say analytical ability, and that's why inclination in mathematics is needed. I don't say that you must be an expert or a master in mathematics, but having a good fair idea of the basics of mathematics is extremely must. Next is business communication, and we have already spoken. Focus, ability to think out of box. This is again required in every field today, not just commerce. Strong logic, again, can be developed through various small tricks and techniques. Again, if you Google, you'll get a lot of ideas on how logic can be developed further. You must have already a good foundation of logic developed by 10th, but you must work on it further. And last, patience. Various courses in commerce are such that patience is needed. CA, CS, CMA, you may or may not clear in first shot. And then you must have patience. In general, commerce as a stream also, the success may not come on the first day. If you compare your pay package to that of an engineer, maybe yours will be lesser in the initial stage, but believe me, as you climb up the ladder, there is no dearth of good jobs and good money in this field as well. There are many other areas in commerce which I might have missed on. I've tried to conclude, take up, consider as many options as possible, but I might have skipped. So if you have anything particular to ask, you can always message me on my WhatsApp, personal WhatsApp, and discuss. I'll conclude by giving two small stories in 2 minutes, and that will be the end. I know we have exceeded the time, but there's so much that I have to discuss and share with all of you that sometimes the time exceeds beyond what is planned. So I'll quickly end this session by giving two small stories to you. one story is of a student of mine. Not a student exactly, but someone who I've been mentoring and coaching in last so many years. He did his engineering, and in the last year, there was a investment company, let's not take the name, who came to the campus for interviews and for placements. This student comes from a very humble background, financial background. So he was not able to, he wanted to, but was not able to invest in share market when he was in college. But he was somehow very fascinated with the idea that share market threw at him. So what he did was, he happened to post a video of a live concert on YouTube, and that started being watched a lot. YouTube sent him some money, and he started investing that money into share market. Slowly he started, it was a small amount, but he started with that, and slowly he started getting good hang of share market. And by the time he was in last year of engineering, when this investment company came to campus for actually picking students for engineering backgrounds, looking at his CV and looking at his experience of trading, he was picked up, no doubt, above, barring, I would say, by excluding some students who were more intelligent in the sense of degree, I would say. They had scored more marks than this guy. But still, this student was selected because he had that additional edge. I'm talking about edge over your competitors. Everyone is an engineer, then how you are different? So he was different in the sense of his knowledge about share market and the way he really chased his dream and got into the market and got a good hang of market without risking it much. Very small amount he started with and built a good portfolio. So on that basis, he was picked up by the investment company, not as an engineer, but actually in the finance team. And today he's doing phenomenally well in the same company for so many years now. So my point here is, don't just depend on your degree. You will have to acquire and additionally put some feathers in your cap of additional skills, which I have listed here in winner's skill set, as well as a few others which are listed when I gave you ideas about what skills you can acquire. And last but not the least, you go to a restaurant very often, right? Let's say this time you go to a new restaurant, which you have not visited earlier. You go there and check the menu, and there's nothing that you can understand from the menu. The name of the dishes is so weird, paneer pasanda and something like that. And it was not able to give you any idea of what the dish would be. So you call the manager of the restaurant, sorry, and you ask him about these various dishes whose names are really not, you are not able to understand them. So you ask him, what is paneer pasanda? Then he tells you that it is a red gravy dish, and you can eat it with roti or rice and this and that. Then you ask him, oh, is it in red gravy or white gravy? How many people the dish will be sufficient for? Does it have capsicum? And so on, so forth. You ask him so many questions. Isn't it? We all do this. Now my question is, you're asking wrong questions to the wrong person. Don't you think so? You're asking all the questions about preparation of the dish to a manager, whereas you should have ideally asked the questions to the cook. The one who's actually making the dish is supposed to know about the ingredients and about the quality and what gravy goes in it and what is the quantity of the dish, etc. But you ask all those questions to the manager and you expect the manager to answer those, isn't it? My point here is, in business, in your careers, very often this will happen. Let's say you do MBA in finance and start working in a company tomorrow. The HR manager, who is also an MBA in HR from your same college, but he is a very senior position in HR today, and you are at a very senior position in finance today. He is on a vacation for 1 month, so in some other country. Now, today, in the organization, strike takes place. The workers go on a strike and they say that we won't produce goods any further till someone comes and talks to us and agrees to our demands. As a MBA in finance, you have not had any formal education into negotiation or how to talk to the workers in this case, how human psychology works, etc., etc. Does it mean you will sit idle for 1 month and wait for the HR guy to come back from his vacation? It cannot happen, my dear friends. You are MBA finance, heading the finance department. You have to worry about your finances. If the workers don't work for the entire month till the HR person is back, you will lose on production, you will lose on the time, and more importantly, you will not be able to meet your demand when there's demand for your product so much in the market. So being from finance field also, you will have to get into HR and you will have to talk to those workers. You'll have to, as they say, get your hands dirty and make sure that you bring the company out of this trouble. What have you understood from these two stories? I would end by saying that in commerce, you have to be a jack of all and master of one. You have to know a little about every field, which will happen in 11th and 12th, which will again happen in your graduation also, where you get to a glimpse of all different flavors of commerce. So learn all of them with equal passion and then decide what should be your final destination. So remember, be a jack of all and master of one. Thank you so much. And before I end, I want to give you an insight into two things. One, a workshop. So after today's webinar, those who might be interested in going more deep into the field of commerce, there is a small 5-day workshop which will be launched in the month of May. Generally, I would plan it in second week is what I'm thinking right now. It's a 5 days workshop, Monday to Friday generally. 1 hour, 30 minutes every day, where we go deep into the facets of commerce. So suppose today, after this session today, you decided that, I think I will be a chartered accountant. But then what is exactly the job of a chartered accountant? What is it that a chartered accountant has to really do? Or tomorrow you decided I'll be a lawyer, then how a lawyer really works. So for that, this workshop has insight into commerce through role plays. We do case studies, we do lectures, we listen to various podcasts or videos and gather knowledge through that. We do a lot of group discussions and a project report is to be prepared. We do business plan as well in this. So a lot of exciting insights that you get into this workshop for 5 days. So all of those who are interested in doing this workshop with me, can actually message me about more about to know more about the details of the workshop. I'll also post a flyer soon in 2 days or so on the same group. Plus, I'll be posting a lot of information on the group. So I would request you to stay on the WhatsApp group for some more days. So till the time I post all the data that I have to share across to the students and parents of this WhatsApp group. And lastly, at Srishti School of Learning, which is an institute about 14-year-old institute. We work in mathematics, science, and commerce in this institute. We are situated at Karve Road, and at this institute, we are into career counseling also in commerce. So if you want to actually one-on-one basis, talk to me about what are your options and thoughts about commerce stream and what is it that you actually want to do. And if you have any questions, we can also have fix up a time and meet on a session for career counseling also. Online sessions, online discussion is also possible. This workshop will be offline, but if there is enough I would say enough strength for an online workshop, then I'll also be doing one online workshop for this commerce. It is called as Financial Mind Gym, where we actually stretch our horizons in commerce. So I'm now open for question answers, if any. I thank you all for sparing time for today's session and being so patient. I know it's been almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. But as I said, there's so much to talk that I had to spare this much time for this session. I really thank you all for your time, and I'm open to questions, if any. Thank you. if you want to ask questions on one-on-one basis, you can message me also. If you don't want to ask them here, something very pinpointed you want to ask, maybe we can talk on WhatsApp.
Hi, this is Pradnya here. I just wanted to know, can you just share some information on BSc Economics course?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll be sending a lot of information about various courses. So in that, I'll definitely remember to send information on this.
And what's the difference between a BCom with Economics and BSc Economics?
Again, the difference lies primarily in subjects. So it will depend on which institute you take it up from, because as I said, every institute will have its own syllabi, and the subjects largely differ these days across various colleges. So it would be good if you compare colleges. We can, I'll share information. If you just ping me on WhatsApp, I'll share some colleges, links to some colleges. You can see that and then identify your liking for a particular course, and probably that will give you more idea about it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. And we will stop here. Connect to me anytime on the group and personally also. And stay connected for more information on the same group. Thank you again.